What's up, all my sports junkies out there? My name is Kel, and welcome back to BLACKTREE TV for a special two-part series of sports talk. Tonight, in part one of the series, our own Jamaal Finkley sits down with two-time Olympian Jamie Nieto as he talks about his recent experience in the 2012 London Games. You're going to want to make sure you subscribe to BLACKTREE TV so you won't miss out on part two of Jamie's interview, where he talks about his transition from the sports world to that of Hollywood. All that and much, much more coming up right now on BLACKTREE TV.
I'm here with two-time Olympian, filmmaker, and I must say a new friend of mine, Mr. Jamie Nieto. Yeah. First, congratulations on your Olympic run. I mean, you did come home with a gold, silver, bronze, but you definitely represented. And I mean, we talked about this before. It just came down to misses, even though you hit the right jump. So how was the experience? I mean, how was this experience compared to the last Olympics?
For me, this experience was amazing. You know, I just thank God to always be there, first of all. And like you said, it came down, the same thing in Athens is the same thing in London, one miss away from winning a medal. But, you know, just comparing both of these, and a lot of people have been asking me, comparing both of the Olympics, I thought London did a great job. You know, I don't want to down Athens but the track experience in Athens and in London were pretty much the same. The energy was high, it was amazing, everything was electric, the competition was great, except in Athens it was warm, you know, and then in London it was kind of warm, but it was raining. Yeah. So, but other than that, like, London's public transportation is great, you know, everybody speaks English, the food is good, you know, you can get around. So on an overall aspect, I thought London just did a way better job of hosting Olympics. And you know, the people and the fans were amazing. You know, even just walking around the city, people were stopping me and getting autographs and taking pictures and all that stuff. So that was really cool, just to really have that celebrity experience, you know. And right. I mean, that's more how it is in Europe anyways, but it was like times 10 there, you know.
Right. And you know, all the fans, we all get to see the competition, the races, the gymnastics, everything. But we never really get to see what happens in Olympic Village. Can you talk about Olympic Village and the camaraderie that you have with the other athletes there? Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's pretty amazing. A lot of these athletes that you guys see on TV are just kind of walking around the village, other than the basketball team, but even some of them are there. Like Tony Parker, I've seen almost every day, but he competes for France, so right. He was staying in the village, but the other NBA players that competed for the United States stayed somewhere else. So that was cool that we were able to see them, and everybody was really friendly and took pictures with everybody. And I remember one day it was kind of weird. I was on the elevator talking to a trainer because I was trying to get some work done on my foot, and right behind me was Michael Phelps. I was like, is that Michael? Wow, that's Michael Phelps. Okay, cool, you know. Yeah. But so, you know, I think the media kind of pumps up the Olympic Village a lot more than it really is. They kind of make it seem like everybody's running around partying and having a great time. People were focused, you know. I mean, I did a few interviews over there, and they were like, so what's the village like now? And I like showed them a picture, like, do you see anybody running around partying? And it's not like that. People are pretty calm.
People getting in their zone.
People getting in their zone. And then, you know, people compete all the way to the end of the Olympics. So, you know, those people want to lay low. They don't want to be out partying. And then the people who finish earlier in the Olympics, those are the people, a lot of times they end up going out to party, not really partying in the village, you know. Right. So, right. But the village is usually pretty calm and tame. Maybe the last night it's, you know, a lot of people running around, and the last couple nights people running around a little bit, but.
Besides opening and closing ceremony, is there anything that the whole Team USA does together in that situation? I mean, do you have like an orientation or anything where you're all in the...
Yeah, well, in the very beginning, when you make the Olympic team, you have to go to an orientation. They tell you what to expect, what to prepare for, what the rules are being there. You know, there was a big controversy about Rule 40 this year. Rule 40 was, you know, they didn't allow athletes to stand on the podium with their own shoes. So, which was, for us, was really a minor issue, and that kind of got into the whole issue of athletes not getting paid. You know, top 10 athletes at the Olympic Games didn't get paid, you know, from the IOC, which is the International Olympic Committee, whereas the USOC pays us, but what they pay us is very trivial. You know, first place is $25,000, second place is $10,000, and third place is $5,000, I think. Now, if you imagine, you know, the average American makes $36,000 a year. So you're telling me after 4 years of training, you're gonna pay me $25,000 for a gold medal? It doesn't even equate. Even if you did that for a year, it's still pretty hard to live off of $25,000 a year. Right. You know, so that was the bigger issue there. You know, we did speak on Rule 40, which stated, you know, the people who got on the stand had to wear Nike shoes because that was a sponsor, but people wanted to be able to wear their own, you know, sponsor shoes. This is just a new rule they mandated this year. So, you know, that was a little bit of an issue, but like I said, that was more the minor issue. The bigger issue was like, we got athletes like myself, 6th in the world. I didn't get any money for playing 6th in the world. And you can ask any major athlete here in the United States, would you, Kobe Bryant, would you go to the NBA Finals and not get paid? He'd probably laugh. You know, Derek Jeter, would you go to the World Series and not get paid? It just wouldn't happen, you know. But we expect these Olympic athletes to go to Olympic Games and get paid. We're not amateur athletes, we're professional. I've been getting paid ever since I've been competing, you know what I mean?
Well, how does that compete? I mean, for those of you guys that don't know, the Diamond League is a league that goes on, you know, outside of the Olympics, and that where most of you guys make your career money. How does like a first place finish at the Diamond League or at an event compared to just an Olympic? Like, what's the normal payout for or stuff for that stuff?
So I'll break it down for you. The Olympic trials this year, and I was just speaking to DL about this, but the Olympic trials this year, I won. First place was $4,000. I mean, I could pay maybe 2 mortgage payments with that, you know what I mean? Even if it's just for the year, like I said, $36,000 a year for the average American, we're making less than poverty, you know, from our national championships. So $4,000 to win the national championships. The IAAF World Championships, the IAAF pays $60,000 for first place, all the way down to the top 8 places. So you're telling me we get more at the World Championships than Olympic Games? It doesn't make sense. And then at the Diamond League meets, first place is $10,000 all the way down to 8th place, and 8th place could be like $1,000. But at least you're still making money and can continue to keep making money as you go into more meets. Right. So that's kind of the breakdown of what we're getting. I think, you know, again, it's a travesty that we're getting paid more at the World Championships than we are at the Olympic Games, when the Olympic Games is the premier event. It's getting the most sponsorship, it's getting the most views, it's getting the most, you know, attention, and we're not making any money.
Well, we talked about USOC, but I mean, it's athletes from all around the world and other countries. Do they all deal with this, or in their countries do they have different structures where they're getting paid more and able to survive more off this stuff? Is this a...
No, what ends up happening is the IOC gives your national governing body, for us is the USOC, money, but they don't really give us enough money to pay all the athletes well. So, you know, countries like Haiti or, you know, Zimbabwe or, you know, some of these like countries that probably don't have the money that we do, they don't get paid any money. You know, Russia, they might get paid a lot of money because they're a pretty big country, but, you know, some of these smaller nations won't. And that's the travesty. I'm not just talking about myself getting paid. I'm talking about the world. You know, you get somebody from Namibia who doesn't get paid very much money from his country, but he wins an Olympic gold medal. You know, he goes home with $100,000, say, that's going to boost their economy. You know, we're not just talking about boosting the United States economy. We're talking about helping the world, you know?
So do you think this would change? I mean, because, I mean, amateur athletes, I mean, whether they're talking about collegiate or Olympic, there's always been a debate on, you know, when should athletes get paid? And I know for you guys, y'all professional, you know, not to say, you know, collegiate is more amateur and everything, but I mean, there's always a debate. Do you see any traction? Do you think that something's going to change soon, or is this
I don't know.
Like it's status quo?
Yeah, I don't know. I hope it changes. I mean, the change would be for the better. Definitely, you know, at the Olympics, there are the boxers who are amateur. There are gymnasts who are 15 years old who are, you know, haven't even been to college yet. And then you got collegiate athletes. Those guys shouldn't get paid. I mean, if that's the rules, you know what I mean? They want to keep their amateur status, cool. But everybody else should be paid. So you can't treat everybody the same. This small group is being treated like everybody else, you know? So I don't know. I mean, I know there's people like Sonia Richard-Ross who's out there trying to help make a change. Me and her talked about it a lot, about, you know, and we've posted a lot on Twitter with the hashtag #WeDemandChange. And that's basically talking about what we're talking about here is we demand change. We need something to happen at the Olympic Games and so athletes can make a living and continue to compete and don't have to have a side job and be a coach and work at Home Depot and then, you know, also train at the same time, you know what I mean?